Hi there, what's up? Hope all's good. Now if you remember a while ago we did the best 1000 to 2000 electric grinders, and in that video we felt there's possibility of inserting 2 conical or 3 conical burr grinders. It came to our mind, why not to make the best ultimate conical burr grinders video on the market? Because when it comes to flat, there will be like the Titan tire grinders, over $2,000 for the flats. But for the conicals, today we gathered the most interesting one, durables, loved ones, and well known. So without further ado, let's start. There might be some wind noise, it's extremely windy today, so excuse us for that. We're gonna categorize the video into 2 sections. The first one is under $1,000, the second one is over $1,000. To be fair here and to give you a better perspective. The first one, the DC63, as it stands for 60 burr conical grinders. It has a silicone hopper here on top, silicone blower, to give you that extra retention out with a wooden cap. The wooden cap, it's not that much practical to open and close. A friend of us mentioned that we might putting it the opposite way, but it came as this, and even if you try the opposite way, it's still, if you're gonna open it, it will pop all out. So just a thing to note about. Underneath that, you have like an anti-popcorn piece to prevent copy from popcorn in. Also this one, you can remove it. It has a silicone gasket. You can see it here. Underneath that, you have the grind adjustment mechanism, the grinding dial here, with a notch inside of it telling you like here coarser and this side is finer. At this point, basically here, like it's at the lowest point and tight, preventing you from going backwards. However, point 0 will be somewhere around here the back, so you have a really wide range of adjustments. Around 10 to 20 you'll get Turkish ground coffee. Around 30, 40 you'll get espresso grind setting. Before going to the grinding chamber, we're gonna show you the silicone knob. This is a strange addition. I'm not sure why they've included it, but it's there. The grinding chute, you remove it, and once you remove it, the silicone will be some kind of inside here. When you notice, like when I pushed it, some ground coffee came out. It's kind of, if the grinder clogs itself, it does not, but if it did, just kind of give it a push to ensure like you see those tiny particles are coming out. It has from the inside plasma generator, which basically 2 needles with electrical current to prevent that static electricity from coming out. And it is super effective here. We've tried seasoning it with dark roast, really dark oily roast. Those coffee beans usually tend to give you that much static electricity around. Here, it's very minimal and effective. You can easily grind without spraying the coffee beans with water. Underneath that, you have the dosing cup with a wooden base. It's also a cool touch. However, I personally, I wish if it was a long dosing cup. I just feel this is a bit finicky. It keeps going around. Put the silicone back in. To access the grinding chamber, all what you do is leave the adjustment dial, go to the lower section and unloosen it. So we open the grinding chamber and you have access to the burrs. This is the upper burr. We remove it. You can see it's coated here. You can see the writings here. It says DC63, and this is the conical burr. The machining from the inside is really clean. Retention wise, you get some like maybe 0.3 gram of coffee beans, filling the holes around, but retention wise it's really low retention. And when you want to put the burrs back in, you have this red dot. Make sure it's on the top. So the red dot should be here on the top, and you put it back again. And yeah, that's pretty much all about it. Durable grinder, looks really cool. This anodized aluminum finish, right on point. And let's move to the next one. Now you might be thinking, what about taste wise? We're coming to that, but remember, we're gonna be comparing them, so it's easier to speak about all of them taste wise side by side. So let's go to the Niche Zero. It's one of the most iconic grinders for single dosing. So let's start from the bottom. You have a wooden plate that goes in place, stainless steel dosing cup with a brushed finish from the inside to make sure that ground coffee does not get stuck in there, and the grinding chute from here. You put the dosing cup, the hopper from top, the grind adjustment here, and on off switch from the side. It's really simple grinder, and what I love especially about it, so we owned one, we kept using it for maybe a couple of years. We loved everything about it, and one of the things that keeps sticking to our mind is how easy it is to predict your grind setting. So for example, as a reference, right now it's at number 16 and I was testing relatively medium light roasted coffee beans. Then I wanted to try medium more developed roasted coffee beans, and it was at 16. I said it should be around 18, 18 and a half, and just easily put the grinding dial at 18 and a half, did my dose, and it was right on point, around 32 seconds extraction time. So it's easy to predict, easy to operate, simple, straightforward. That's probably the main beauty advantage of it. In order to access the burrs in the niche zero, you just open the hopper, you keep going coarser, kind of similar to the DC63. Yep, pops out. After that, you remove this bolt. In order to remove the anti-popcorn slow feeding disc, you get this one out. You get the upper burr carrier, the conical burr. This is the inside grinding chamber, and this is mother conical burrs. You can see here from the bottom. That's how you access the burrs. Let's put them back in place. So what things that we don't like about the niche zero? First of all is the static electricity. So if you are using super light roasted washed coffee beans, super dark roasted coffee beans, you do get static electricity. It's not that bad to prevent you from grinding. You might get some ground coffee here, there. You might try to give it a few knocks from top, just to make sure that everything went out. It's not crazy bad, but at the same time, with all these development, all these grinders, would love to see an upgraded version with a plasma generator. That one would be appreciated. Also, you cannot have it at a hot start, basically turning it on and having coffee beans. It won't turn on until you close the lid. So that's the thing to keep in mind. And another point is that the automatic shut off. So the DC63, it has plasma generator, it has automatic shut off feature. So basically once the grinder finishes grinding, it automatically shut off. Here, it does not have that, unfortunately. And yeah, let's go to the second grinder, third grinder. Now the Femobook A68. So the advantage of this one, it's fully aluminum build quality and fully disassembled by hands. So you have here the hopper, you open this piece, that piece, you remove the dosing cup, twist them and pull it outside. Fully disassembled by hand. Even the body is outside. You have here the ground adjustment mechanism. You pop it up. You have here a small washer. You give it a push, slightly twist it, and the burrs will come out, the conical burr. So that's it, fully disassembled by hand, magnetic pieces in it. To recalibrate it, you just put the grind setting inside. So you keep going finer until burrs are touching. Yep, they're almost flat, they are touching. We're trying to rotate them. You see from here, from central axle, it's making noises. So this is your point 0, and right now it's showing number 4. You just remove it out, go to number 0, and give it a push. And this is your number 0. So you recalibrated the grinder. Right now we're gonna go coarser. You can see the burr popping out. And by the way, the alignment of these burrs in the DC63 and the niche zero, it's kind of difficult to check for the alignment of the burrs. Whereas here, you can literally have it flat, turn it. Here you can just rotate it and appreciate the perfect alignment of these burrs. Even when they are inside, right now I'm rotating. Even when they are at the flattest point, you can see there's no gap. It's really well aligned grinder. So the dot should be here. Lift the central axle hook, twist the burrs, goes in. So this is the funnel. It has brushes inside, magnetically attached in place, and this piece, the front cover, the upper funnel, and the dosing cup, which has magnet, not super strong, but like tiny magnet. You see, it guided itself in place. Good shape. Super easy grind adjustment and super accurate. I would say in all of these grinders, 3 of them, like if you get 30-second extraction time and you want 32 seconds extraction time, it's enough for those 2 or 3 seconds adjustments. All of them are super accurate. The on-off switches from the side, and it also has auto shut-off feature. I would say the auto shut-off feature here is far more accurate than the DC63. So DC63, sometimes it works, like I would say maybe 10% or 20% of the time it won't work or have some kind of delay. Here it's always on point. Finishes grinding around 5 seconds, it will automatically shut off. Now, what I don't like about the Femobook A68, it has this massive power brick. It's not massive, but you need to keep it in mind. You need to consider where to put this. Ideally, in our case, in all our setups, we put it under the table, behind the table somewhere. The other issue is that the static electricity. So when I say static electricity, is that basically you won't be having some issue of ground coffee here. You're really having some coffee stuck here and it's not coming off. So like you might grind your dose, take the dosing cup out, brew your espresso. When you want to return it, you hit it accidentally and you have like 3 grams of coffee were stuck here because of the static electricity. It's that much bad. It's super easy to fix. Spray coffee beans before pouring in, but if you don't want to spray them, you're gonna have tough time here. I really wish for them to install that plasma generator. Apart from that, I love everything about this. I cannot keep emphasizing how much I think sometimes it's underappreciated grinder. Let's speak about taste-wise of these grinders. We went with the same coffee beans, kind of medium roast, the exact same coffee beans, and we adjusted all of the grinders and aimed for extraction between 28 to 30 seconds. That the special coffee beans with these parameters brewed the best espresso shots. So that's what was our aim. And we had 3 espresso shots of these 3 grinders on a side and 3 espresso shots of the next category grinders on the side. When it came to this category, our main aim for these 3 grinders to just by blind tasting to check the most different one, because relatively speaking, Conical Burr grinders, they are different from flat burrs. They give you that smooth creamy texture. They tend to make any tasting note more chocolatey, more nutty, which is just like by sipping, not overthinking which one straight away was the best. Tried all of them. Surprisingly, they were relatively kind of similar relatively on the first sip, but after that one stood out. It was more balanced, slightly brighter, like interesting for a Conical Burr to be this bright. The same nuttiness, same chocolatey tasting note. Just felt like, yeah, this one, I would pick this one out of this 3, and it was the Femobook A68. And it's to no surprise, this Burr geometry is similar to the Comandante geometry. It's famous for its like brightness, high consistency, and I would say the Femobook A68 is the only one I would brew filter coffee with. Those 2, they tend to over extract in filter coffee, slightly muddiness in the filter coffee cup, especially the D63. In espresso, both of them very similar. If I had to put them, I would say like, if you love Conical Burr grinder, you appreciate the conical style approach, but you want more brightness, pick this. You want something consistent, chocolatey, nutty, nothing crazy. Sometimes might be boring, but like, this is a Conical Burr grinder. Some people love it for this reason. Go with the niche 0. If you are hardcore, loving the dark roast, love the chocolatey tasting notes, go for the DC63. It has like that extra pinch of, not bitterness, I'll put it, dark chocolatiness, let's say. Yeah, over the niche 0. And let's move to the next category, over $1,000 grinders. So we have these 3 grinders. We're gonna start with the MX Cool Aries. The Aries comes with 2 colors, this white one and there's a black one. It's tough to pick between them, but I would say maybe the black one will make the cleaning process easier if you have some ground coffee, but both of them looks really cool. It has kind of plastic build quality, but not cheap plastic build quality. Like, it's plastic, but it's good build quality, and it's for a good reason. It hosts 83mm burrs. Still, it offers so many features. At the same time, it has a budget friendly price considering what it has to offer. So from the side here, you have an adjustable RPM from 90 up to 150, and even if you grind with this extremist light roast at this setting, it has a slow feeder, basically giving the beans to the grinder in slow motion. Not slow motion, slow feeding basically. From the front, it has this dosing cup. You give it a twist, it magnetically attached to itself here. So when we twisted it, it automatically unlocked, and it has the blind shaker shape. So it sits on top of 58mm portafilters. You put it on top of the portafilter, you lift the funnel, it drags all the ground coffee inside, and it magnetically attaches itself. On top of that, you have this tiny small knocker. I like this touch, like, so basically you pull it out, you leave it hits the grinder to knock any ground coffee stock here. Grind adjustment dial is here. However, there's a lock button, so you need to push this one, keep holding it, and adjust the grind setting from coarse to fine. So it's super fast to go from really fine to the coarsest setting and back. From top, you have the lid, and when you open the lid, you can't keep the lid open because it has kind of anti-popcorn mushroom shape and a slow feeder here on the bottom. When we turn the grinder on, you can see the slow feeder working here. So this is good because it's been proven that slow feeding coffee beans is better for consistency. And at the same time, as I mentioned, no matter how much fine you go at the lowest RPM, lightest beans, no issues at all, because larger burrs require more torque and it might be an issue. Here, it's not an issue. In order to access the burrs, it's one of the easiest and fastest grinders out there to access the burrs. All what you have to do is to hold this piece itself, give it a twist, the entire burr will come out. And it has a very similar geometry to the Mazzer 83 burrs, conical burrs, but it's slightly different. Right now I got a strange angle just to show you how the upper burr is the one that's rotating. So you're gonna turn the grinder on and stabilize the light. Yeah. Put the burrs back in, you just insert it inside, and that's it, it's back in. What we love about this grinder is how easy it is to access the burrs, the budget-friendly price tag, because it's really budget-friendly price tag considering having these burrs. If it might sound biased, but we personally not a huge fans of these burrs, the geometry of 83mm Mazzer burrs, and those are slightly different, but they're still relatively the same. Nonetheless, if you like the taste profile of 83mm Mazzer burrs or something similar to that, having this grinder at this price range, it's a wonderful option. It has adjustable RPM, it has slow feeding, super fast to access the burrs. When I'm accessing the knob, so you need to give it a push to turn the grinder off, and you turn the RPM from here. So sometimes what we found out, like I'm coming to push it and I'm changing the RPM by mistake. So it's behind the setup, I'm reaching out there, turning it on, and instantly the RPM changes. And with different RPM, your extraction time will be slightly different, like 3 seconds, 5 seconds extra. The grind adjustment dial from here. So it is an accurate dial, but it's not the most accurate out there. So sometimes when you push the unlock, it's difficult to get in between the numbers. It's not that super easy. And let's say you have 30 seconds extraction time. You want to push it to 32, 33. It might jump to 35. So like it has a jump, usually jumps 4 or 5 seconds. It benefits from RDT if you spray it, especially with the knocker with twisting the dosing cup. But it's better to spray it, because like if you don't spray it, you can get by. It's not as bad as the Femobook, but yeah, it will benefit massively from that spray of water. I know people love blind shaker, but personally I would love just to see a dosing cup. The option here, or maybe when you buy it online, just like instead of getting this, just buy a dosing cup, or if they offered an upgrade for people who don't want a blind shaker, just normal dosing cup. Give me just normal closed dosing cup here. And yeah, that's the MX Cool Aries. Maybe the most controversial grinder out there. It was sent for a visit from our friends at Sigma Coffee UK. They have a wonderful range of coffee equipment, especially their coffee library. We are a fan of that one. They bring coffee from different famous coffee roasters around the world. So huge thanks to them. Feel free to check them out. The Weber Key MK2. So this grinder was released by a Kickstarter campaign initially. So it's really extremely thin grinder. And what they did is a smart design here, is that here thin, here super thin, and from the sides the burrs are sitting here. They really did not compromise on the size measurements. Has small footprint. The paint job is nice. The Weber logo from the back. Main on off switch here from the side. The cable from the back. They introduced nice innovations with the design. So what is the magic tumbler? Basically it's a mix of the blind shaker from Weber. So we give it a twist, it goes down. And this tiny metal wire. So what this metal wire does is that there's a wiper here that wipes the coffee while it's being grounded. And this metal wire, kind of similar to how Titus have their grinders with those wipers. So if you haven't checked, we made a review about this super interesting grinder from Titus, custom made in Germany, the most high-end grinders out there. And they have those wipers, but that one has like 8 wipers in there, mainly to make the coffee very fluffy and eliminate static electricity. So in the Titus, it does eliminate static electricity. Here, it's mostly about making the ground coffee very fluffy, because ground coffee beans will be sitting here in the magic tumbler inside, and what's inside, it will be rotating and fluffing it all around when you turn the grinder on. So we turn the grinder on, the inner wire will be rotating from the inside, and this is how you can imagine it happening. So it's a cool touch, effective. Ground coffee comes out very fluffy. Static electricity also benefits from RDT, but mostly very fluffy. On top of that, you have the grind adjustment mechanism. I'm not a huge fan of this grind adjustment mechanism, and it's because of the stiffness mainly. You have to hold the grind adjustment collar and lift it to the top. It's not very smooth, it gets stick sometime, might get on your nerves. Then you give it a twist, go to the grind setting you want, and push it inside. You got your grind setting adjusted. It's not that friendly to go to really coarse setting and back to fine. After that, you have this cool anti-popcorn piece. It has two pieces. You stick them together and they hold the central axle. And when you lift it to the top, it attaches to the top by itself. You pour your coffee beans and then you lower it. It stays here, prevent coffee from popcorn. You would get some occasional popcorn, but it's not that much massive due to the upgraded slow feeder that they've installed here in the MK2 version. So we're gonna turn the grinder on. It will be rotating, feeding the beans to the burrs. So if you pour coffee beans, you can see how it's dragging them. From the side, you have the adjustable RPM switch, and it can go to really low RPM, from 30 RPM up all the way to go up 150 RPM. And this is infinite, so you can go between any grind setting. So this is the RPM. From the front, you have a cleaning brush with a smart mechanism. So this is the cleaning brush magnetically attached to the side, and if you want to insert back, you pull this to the front in order to guide the bristles all the way inside. And in front of that, on off switch. In order to access the burrs, you flip the grinder and you bring an Allen key anti-clockwise, and you remove the wiper. So we flip the grinder and we have the burrs out. So those are both burrs side by side. As you can see, they have different geometry. This is from the MX Cool Aries and this is from the Weber. This is Maser burrs, 83mm. It should say here, yes. They are coated burrs, of course they don't come coated from Maser. And from top you can see the cutting angles are slightly different. Now as you can see, I'm literally with one hand I'm reinserting the burrs inside the MX Cool Aries. That's it, it was that fast. You're gonna give them a cleaning brush, put them back inside again. So let's speak about what I like, what I don't like about the Weber key. What I like is the all magnetic part, the lid, the slow feeder, the magic tumbler. And by the way, the magic tumbler, when you give it a twist, it goes down. It also has a magnet from the bottom to stabilize it right in place if you want to lift it. Similar to the MX Cool Aries, I just wish to see have normal dosing cup. I know the magic tumbler here is really well made. They were the first people to come with the idea of the magic tumbler, but still I prefer just a single normal dosing cup. Just the option here. On top of that is the grind adjustment mechanism. They are accurate, much more accurate than the MX Cool Aries, but still they are very stiff, not enjoyable to use all around. We thought initially that might be a new grinder, but still we went around like 5 kilograms in it, used it so many times, it's still the same. If you do RDT, sometimes coffee beans will get stuck in the slow feeder. Maybe they should have added higher fins to grab the coffee beans instead of like small bumps. But yeah, that's something to note about. The last point I'm gonna touch on is the central axle and the alignment. Due to the nature of the design, how the central axle goes all the way from here to the bottom holding the cone burr, any kind of misalignment, like even the minute misalignment or minute, let's say, deviation from this point will be multiplied at the end point. Basically, for example, I'm holding this Allen key and it's right on the table and you can see the alignment is really good. Any kind of small deviation from the bottom, almost unnoticeable, at the very far end, it's far more noticeable. And when we got this grinder out of the box, we flipped the grinder because we know like this might be an issue. We took a highly focused video on it with a macro lens, trying to show you the difference, the small gap, and it's present there. Now, how much this deviation will affect the grind performance? I would say like the burrs here, 18.3mm conical burrs, in general they are not super consistent. The main idea of larger conical burr is giving you a crushing mechanism, is high percentage of bolder coffee particles, even if you have your portafilter of espresso. And you compare flat burr grinder with the conical burr grinder, the surface, you can see that the flat burr grinder, the surface of the coffee puck, it's super consistent, no boulders, all the same, almost like powdery flat surface. Whereas in a conical burr grinder, if you notice the portafilter basket, the top surface, you can see many amount of borders, almost inconsistent. It's just like the nature of this large conical burr grinder. So the nature of this grinding graph, let's say distribution of the large cone burrs, combined with this very small minimal deviation, it kind of work itself out. It's still there. It might not be an issue for you, but we just wanted to touch base on it. All in all, it's a very nice grinder, durable. I love all the innovation features in it. It might not be our cup of tea, as they say, due to the taste wise, which I'm touching on shortly, but it lives to the expectations, kind of. Yeah, let's move to the next one. Now, last but not least, the most expensive grinder on the list today, the Kafatek MC6. So if you haven't checked recently, we made a dedicated review video about the SDRM version from Kafatek grinders, and we spoke a lot about the history of Kafatek, all the customizations they have, so feel free to check that video. It's a really interesting one. Today we are reviewing the conical burr version of Kafatek grinders. So for you who do not know, Kafatek is a company based in the USA. Everything is manufactured in the USA. They CNC machining their grinders up to the perfection, let's say obsession, with the machining quality. The design wise, some people love it, some people hate it. For us, we think it's cool. We like the industrial build quality, and they have so many customizations. We have this red color scheme. So as you can see from the bottom, with the red switch, we have it customized. Have an adjustable RPM here from the side. When you rotate it, the RPM increases. This is 200. And we generally aim to test the grinders with adjustable RPM at 120. And you give it a push, it's fixed at 120. So you turn the grinder on, this is the RPM. And yep, you see this clearly. So when you push the second button, it ramps up the RPM up to the max. When you ramp up the RPM to the max, you're just making sure if there's any ground retention there, push it out. And the grinder's on, you push this button, it's up to the max RPM. After that, you have this small, funny knocker. Few knocks gives everything out. Turn it off. So kind of the user experience of this grinder is really enjoyable. It's designed mainly focused for espresso. And if you see those two hooks, they are made for the portafilter. Just put your portafilter, insert it in place, and these hooks are perfect even if you want to place dosing funnel, no issues. I have here this dosing funnel, we put it, whoop, goes right in place. Coming to the grind adjustment mechanism, at first it might seem a bit confusing, but you'll get used to it. Generally, your grind range will be around 300 microns here, like 250, 300, up to 450, 500 micron. So your ballpark for espresso is between 500 here, up to around 250, 300 microns. Nonetheless, you think that your burrs will be touching at number 0. They don't. You go on another full rotation, around 200, 100 burrs will be touching and you start hearing sound. So you go full an entire rotation to 350 to get your espresso. So to access the grinding chamber, you have 2 screws here from the back. You need to untighten these. Wiggle it a little bit, yep, and it will be up. And then you have access to the burrs. So you lift up the upper burr carrier slightly to the front, and you have 71mm conical burr grinder. Now, for the purpose of this video, of course, be careful if you're gonna do this, but we're gonna show you. We're gonna turn the grinder on. We're gonna go with the RPM to a very super low range. super low, and you can see Burr's rotating here. We're gonna ramp up the RPM. You can see Sharik 1 by Kafatek. The cool thing that Kafatek does is that if you look at the Burr carrier, you have this angular shape here and angular shape here, whereas this one is round. Not to forget the position of the upper burr. So basically the round will be on top and the angular will be on the bottom. Let's get this one. Oh. This tiny piece, the main advantage of it will be guiding coffee beans inside. One thing to pay attention to is that this grinder is literally machined to perfection, and even, let's say, these tiny particles, if they are still here, they will affect the alignment and the grind adjustment mechanism. So if you're gonna open the grinder, which you rarely need due to the retention as you saw, make sure to brush it to extreme perfection, zero coffee particles everywhere, then put it back in place. Any kind of differences will affect the calibration, even up to the point how these bolts are being fixed. So for instance, if you are just feeling your hand, there might not be enough accuracy here. To have something like this, it's a calibrated screwdriver, and we've set it around 4-5 Newton meter torque. So it clicks at certain pressure, certain torque. Listen. Turn. Clicks. So what I love about the Kafatek, I love the fact of the fast RPM. After you turn on off switch, it's just ramp up the RPM with this one switch. I love the build quality, the portafilter fork, static electricity, surprisingly really good. No need to do RDT. Considering these three, it's the best out of them in static electricity. Grind adjustment mechanism, extremely smooth, and at the same time reliable, accurate grind setting. There's pretty nothing to hate about the Kafatek MC6. MC6 because there have been many versions before this. They even used to use Maser burrs before coming out with their own burrs. So they went into many iterations of this model, and I would say they really perfected it. Burr wise, adjustment wise, everything is wonderful about this grinder. Let's come to the taste wise right now. So having them side by side, similar to the previous category, what we did when we had all of them grinders side by side, we used the same coffees, blind tasting session, all on the table. And once again, our main approach was, let's see the one that stands out. And here, having these three, the one that stood out was more obvious, which was the MC6. Remember, this is blind taste, and it was like really more obvious. The MC6 shot was the one that's more balanced, brighter, maybe more complex in tasting notes. Both shots from Cool Aries and the Weber key, they felt more chocolatey. Maybe there's a hint of bitterness there, but having those three, like, this is really the one that I would prefer to drink, and it was the MC6. You are still getting that nice smooth body of Conical burr grinders, but still interesting experience. Tasting notes were more wrapped around your palate. The juiciness is still there. It did not eliminate the tasting notes, the fruitiness. It kind of balanced them and wrapped them in a way, like still giving you that conical tasting profile, but in a very enjoyable way. So if you're in the market to get a Conical burr grinders, it will be for a valid reason. Price wise, there are alternatives if you're on budget. We made so many videos, best budget friendly espresso setup, best entry level coffee grinders, feel free to check those ones. Best budget friendly hand grinders, also feel free to check those ones. Here we are speaking, if you're in the market and getting really durable Conical burr grinders, you love that smooth, creamy, well-known mouthfeel of Conical burr grinders, and depending on your needs and budget. So if you want really the ultimate, the best results, and you still want to enjoy medium light roasted coffee beans in a conical style approach, you love the quality, the machining, the customizations, and you really won't be disappointed with the MC6 from Kafatek. It's the most expensive one, but did not disappoint. It's for a reason, and I would say it's well priced. It's really well priced considering what you are having. It's a wonderful grinder. If you still want like fast grinding time, because larger burrs will give you faster grinding time, and you love the taste profile of 83mm Conical burrs, you will be in between these two. If you are in a budget, this one is definitely no-brainer. They did so many nice cool stuff. It checks so many boxes. Really cool grinder. It's MX cool, and you'll be happy with the experience. Weber Workshops, I love their approach. Still delivers nice tasting espresso shots. Considering what you are getting, what they are offering, it's a bit on the expensive side, but yeah, if you like it, go for it. Comparing these three grinders, I would say Niche Zero is the gold standard. It's been many years since it's launched, and I'm keen on seeing newer version, Gen 2 or version 2, some upgrades like just static electricity, some small touches. They can do that and they should do that, but it's really the gold standard. Super easy, accurate, straightforward, consistent results. Taste wise, nothing crazy taste wise. The DC63 checks many boxes: auto shut off, easy calibration, plasma generator, durable, those chocolatey tasting, strong tasting notes for people who like dark roasted coffee beans. You'll get it here. Femobook, we love this one. Taste wise, personally, we love the taste that's coming from the Femobook over the 83mm Conical Burrs, over this and this. Really, like, just taste wise. And even if you wanted filtered coffee, you'll be getting nice results from this one. They are not like super nice, but they are really good results. It's fully modular, super easy to access, fully metal build quality. The only issue is the RDT and the power brick. So this is the Kafatek. You heard it, without coffee beans. And that's it for today's video. It was a long one, but yeah, we tried to give you the bigger picture. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please, if you own any of these grinders, we would love to hear your feedback. I know we are doing our best to deliver the idea, the experience to you. Hopefully you are doing a good job at that. But at the end of the day, everyone deserves to hear different feedback. So if you own any of this, make sure to mention your opinion in the comment section below. Huge thanks to you in the first place for watching our videos and enjoying them. Take care. I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye. If it's in a kitchen, on a kitchen counter. So they went into